Review of the last game was pretty much what we thought afterwards. Two very good football teams playing, and Kansas State had a really good game plan, and I give a lot of credit to their players and their coaches. They did a great job, and quarterback mentioned him this morning in the Big 12 teleconferences is a good player, and he's smart and well coached and made good decisions. And I didn't realize he was actually that big until I saw him live. It's interesting how you see players. You see them on TV, you see them on tape, and then when you see them live, whether it's a quarterback or any other position, how you get a different perspective of him. And so he was an impressive player in this game, and we lost the turnover battle by 2, which put us in a difficult situation in the fourth quarter. And we took some points off the board on one of those, but we were able to find a way to win. I thought our offense played very well in the second half when we needed to score points. They were able to make plays. I thought that the defense made plays at the right time of the game. We'd certainly like to have gotten more 3-and-outs there in the second half. We weren't able to force a turnover, but they found a way to win. And I had mentioned this afterwards that I think that when you have special seasons, or what people would look back on and say you had a really good football season, is you're going to have some games like that. So it was good to get that one under our belt. And like always, we have a new challenge now. We're back on the road in Lubbock. They're moving the ball and scoring points, and very active, playing fast like we do on offense. So we had discussions with our team last night about the BCS and what people think about Oklahoma State and all those different areas that I'm sure you guys have questions about. And our approach has been the same as it has been each week. And I did mention to the team that number 2 is really not any different than number 3. Ultimately, you got to go play. You got to be competitive each week and got to find a way to win. And so I think they understand that. I feel like they're handling everything very well at this point. Their attitude was really good in the team meeting last night, like it has been throughout the season and really for the last 2 years. They're listening to music in the team room and joking and having fun. And obviously when you're winning at any level, it's fun. So that's where we're at. Our challenges, on offense and defense and in special teams really stay the same. A little bit different approach with their style of offense. So we just need to prepare well this week and go out and play hard on Saturday.
Coach Gundy, I was really impressed with the crowd noise when Baylor got the ball first and goal with 5. I don't know whether you were so focused that you didn't register with you, but they were really loud.
Well, when Kansas State got down to what would be the 4 or 5 yard line, talking about the end of the game.
Yes, sir.
Our crowd was really into it, and as I mentioned after the game, the play before that, when they rolled to the right and threw back to the left and got to that point, I was really not concerned at all because I felt like the time was working against them. They had 1 timeout. They were still 33 yards away. I believe there was 19 seconds on the clock. So if you just start to go through it in your head, most plays are going to take a minimum of 5 and at least 6 seconds unless you're on the goal line. You can get one off quicker than that. So you figure they got to cover 33 yards in what would be 19 seconds. And our crowd was into the game. And I think we were second largest, or what was it, Kevin? Okay, it's largest. Kevin probably told me that, and I've already forgotten by now. It's 2 earthquakes in a 24-hour period. Set a guy off. So, but I thought our crowd did a great job throughout the game. And what you said is true, but when we got behind by 10, we were behind by 10 at one time, and we came back on the field offensively, it got really loud for our offense, which was a good lift for our team. So they've been tremendous. And I said this at homecoming at the pep rally, that our crowd over the last 2 or 3 years has now learned how to be to give us that extra player. For a number of years, I'm not sure we really knew when to be loud and not. But over the last few years, we've gotten really good at it. They know when the defense is out there and on third downs and fourth downs. And even in pregame, they've been very, very good. So we're making strides in a lot of areas.
Mike, you said there's not really a difference between 2 and 3 in BCS, but that's not really true.
Well, I knew somebody was going to hit me with that. It would be you, Barry.
2 and 3 and then BCS is the difference.
I know, and what I meant by that was for us, because we have to play in a game, but I knew as soon as I said that somebody out there that was good in math was going to figure out that it made a big difference. So go ahead, I'm listening.
It's got to be a good feeling that at least you control your destiny.
Right.
If you went out, you're going to be in New Orleans.
Right.
So is that something you want to focus on and dwell on, or you want to try to remove that from people's heads, or how do you deal with it?
You know, I think this goes back to like 3-4 weeks ago. We've really kind of controlled our own destiny because, I mean, everybody knew that LSU was going to play Alabama, and so we can't really get it out of our players' heads. And I said this last week that I think that if you try to act like it's not there, that their response would be different than it is there. And so I am pleased that people across the country see us as a quality football team and put us high enough to where we can get a formula or a computer number. And I'm not good with that at all. I just know that you have to be ranked high, and then the computer has to like you. So I'm glad everybody has to like us.
With each win, that pressure gets ratcheted up.
Mhm.
How do you, as an individual, how does your coaching staff, and how do your players find that release valve?
Well, there's not really a release valve. I mean, I run every day, and I guess that's my release valve. At the end of the day, I go home with my kids, and there's a certain point you can release it, but it doesn't go away until you fall asleep at night. And then as soon as you wake up, before I get the dog off the bed, it comes back in my mind. And I'm sure it's that way with the players. I think that I wish if there were coaches and players out there that have been in this situation or are in this situation that know how to relieve it, I wish they'd let me know, because I certainly don't know how, other than focusing on practice and trying to get 3 or 4 good days of work and just tell the players we just want to play hard on Saturday. And that I'm comfortable with, because they know. I've told them for years, we've told them as a staff for years here that, look, on Saturday we want you to have fun and play hard. And from that point on, so be it, whatever happens. Now, that's easier said than done when you're in the position we are. But that's kind of been the way that we've approached the games for a number of years here.
So are you, at least yourself, feeling the pressure more than you ever have? Because, I mean, you guys have never been in this position before this late in the season.
There's more pressure now. You talking about me personally?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you know, my Nexium, I used to not have to take it every day. I take it every day now. I mean, but there's pressure. I just think that, I mean, I'm just being honest with you. If I was to stand here and say that there's no more pressure or more pressure that I feel now than I did 2 years ago, you ought to get up and walk out of here. So, you know, I show up in public. I've said this a million times. I'm trying to give you the best example I can. I go to my kids' games, or I go somewhere, my wife tells me to pick up milk. I pick up milk. Somebody's going to mention where we're at and what's going on. And so there's no avoiding it. I think you confront it, and you try to play fundamentally sound football and get your players ready and go.
So how do you manage the balance between, with your players, recognizing there is obviously some pressure, but learning how to handle it? How do you manage that with the guys and ask those guys to manage it?
I think you got to be honest with them, be up front. I mean, it is what it is, and you brought this on yourself. You created this monster by being a good football team, and you're good players, and you've done the right thing, and you've won games. But it's certainly a good situation to be in. And you know, there's no more pressure put on us than by within our program. There's no more pressure from anywhere outside put on the coaches than we put on ourselves, and I'm sure the players feel the same way. But my response to a guy just today that had a very similar question is, yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but I'd certainly rather be in this situation than sitting here with 3 or 4 wins.
How much,
So